Let's talk about this. Let me turn this air down a little bit. And the new 3-time undisputed champion of the world and Ring Magazine champion of the world, Terence Bud Crawford, did exactly what I said that he would do, did exactly what I've been telling people for the longest time that he would do. I'm so mad I didn't get an opportunity to do a pre-fight video just to prove to y'all he did everything I said that he would do. First, let's talk about the weight. If you notice, everybody that was rooting for Canelo, they never gave a reason as to why Canelo would actually beat Bud Crawford besides weight, besides power. Those are the only two reasons anybody has ever given us as to why Canelo beats Terence Crawford. That right there should have been a red flag for y'all. That should have been your first red flag. Because if all you banking on to beat a guy is being bigger than him physically or having more power than him, then you've already lost. There's no game plan. There's nothing that anybody could tell us that Canelo did better than Terence Crawford besides probably punch harder, which has yet to be proven because Terence Crawford never fought at 168. We've known him to have power at 147. We've known him to have power at 140, but we never seen like him fight at a higher weight class. So it's like there was no real way of telling what Canelo could have actually done with Terence Crawford. But on the flip side, we know everything Terence Crawford could have done better than Canelo and did do better than Canelo and does better than Canelo. He has faster feet than Canelo. He has a higher ring IQ than Canelo. He has faster hands than Canelo. He's a hard puncher just like Canelo is. He's a switch hitter. He can fight ambidextrous. He can fight southpaw. He can fight orthodox. Those are things that he does well. He can switch up his variation of punches. He has a better jab than Canelo. He knows how to maintain distance than Canelo. He knows how to use angles. I could go on naming a bunch of things that Terence Crawford does better than Canelo. So if weight isn't a factor, then what else tells you that Canelo is a better fighter than Terence Crawford? Nothing. People literally banking on weight. That's it. If you've ever stepped foot in a boxing gym, anybody will tell you power is not enough. Power doesn't mean anything if you can't land a punch. It don't mean nothing if you can't land a punch. Terence Crawford did everything he needed to do to win this fight. That's really all I got to say about this fight, man. From the opening bell, Terence Crawford came out there immediately with the jab. And I knew that his game plan was to not lose any early rounds. To put it on him early, use that jab. The thing he did best was literally maintain distance. He maintained his distance very well where he was able to land that jab because he does have the longer reach. He used his lateral movement extremely well. Elite level lateral movement. He moved when it was purposeful. He didn't just move to move. He moved when it was purposeful. Even when Canelo was able to get him up against the ropes in the corner, he was still in an offensive position. He wasn't scared. He wasn't in a defensive position just waiting on something to counter and slip out. No, he fought his way out the corner. He used his lateral movement. He put his guard up high only when it mattered. Terence Crawford did everything well. Man, I wish I could show y'all right now, man. I literally had notes written down for this fight before the fight actually took place. And I was saying that Crawford needed to keep that outside foot control. He just needed that lead foot control. Keep his foot on the outside because one thing that I knew from the jump was that in order for Canelo to do good in this fight, Canelo had to get him against the ropes. He had to cut off the ring. He had to get him in the corner. And in order to do that and actually land successfully against Terence Crawford, Canelo needed that outside foot control. That way, Crawford only had to go inside. Because we knew from the jump, Terence Crawford was going to fight southpaw. You should have known that. If you did not know that, You didn't do your homework. You didn't study. Terence Crawford was going to come out southpaw because he has more distance. He's stronger with his right hand, so he'd rather use that hand to jab, right? And that's going to help him maintain that distance. And he's going to have lead foot control in the southpaw because it's going to be matched up with Canelo's orthodox lead foot. So he's going to always have an escape route out to the right. So Canelo should have known that. Canelo's team should have told him he's going to come out in southpaw because he's looking for an escape route. He's always going to try to go to your left, right? So if Canelo would have had lead foot control, he would have been able to put his foot on the outside of Terence Crawford's right foot. So Terence Crawford, every time Terence Crawford would have tried to escape to the right, go lateral to the right, he would have tripped over Canelo's foot, and all Canelo had to do was throw a straight right and catch him every time. Every time. So it would have forced Terence Crawford to come to the inside, to the left, come towards Canelo's power hand, which is that right hand. But Canelo didn't do that. Canelo did not battle for foot position, which is something that he should have did. Crawford had the escape routes. Fight southpaw, lead foot control, jab control, use the 2-1. These are all things that Terence Crawford did, and I've been saying this. Maintain distance control for counterpunchers. We already knew that Canelo is a slow-paced fighter. Canelo does not throw punches in bunches because Canelo does not have a gas tank. So Canelo likes to conserve his energy. He throws everything hard, but he throws them 1 or 2 punches at a time. Even his counterpunchers are 1 or 2 punches at a time, which favors Terence Crawford because it gives Terence Crawford more time to think, more time to actually set up counters, more time to observe and analyze Canelo Alvarez patterns. Stylistically, this matchup was all bad for Canelo. It was all bad for him. I even got on here, and mind you, this was done way before the fight even took place. Frustrate Canelo with distance. Make him lunge. We've seen Canelo Alvarez get frustrated, which was proven in the championship rounds, 10, 11, 12. You could visibly see Canelo quitting mentally in this fight. You could visibly see that. My bad, y'all, I'm at work. You could visibly see him tired. Getting frustrated. And if he starts to get frustrated, then he's going to start to make more mistakes. He's going to start to lunge in. And that's where Terence Crawford can do his best work by literally countering him when he makes these mistakes. And one thing that did surprise me, though, I ain't going to say it surprised me. I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if Crawford was going to have his power at 168. Like, he's going to have that pop in his punches. So I tried to, observe every little clip of Terence Crawford that I could in preparation for this fight to see his hand speed, to see how he looked on a heavy bag, to see if there was any sparring clips of him, see if he would have still had that pop. But if you notice, every time Canelo got Terence Crawford in the corner, Terence Crawford assumed this offensive position, started, doing a lot of movement with his hands, widened his stance. He was getting ready to fight himself out the corner, using angles, countering, punching. Terence Crawford still has his power at 168. That's the scary part. He still got his power at 168. So what that did was make Canelo Alvarez hesitant. Because it's like, yeah, Canelo could have just tried to walk through him, but you can't because Canelo feels those punches. And you could tell that he was feeling those punches because even when Terence Crawford threw that jab, you could see it stopping Canelo in his tracks. When he threw a stab to the body, you could see it stopping Canelo in his tracks and literally pushing him back a step or two. That means that Terence Crawford had a strong jab. That's why I said he was going to fight in southpaw, because he hits harder with his right hand, and he needs to use that strong jab to maintain that distance. And that's exactly what he did, and it kept Canelo Alvarez honest. See, I'm going to tell you this. Power don't always matter, but if you fighting somebody that comes forward, you need to have some type of power, because if they don't respect your punches, eventually the pressure is going to become too much, and they're going to walk straight through it. Terence Crawford had everything. He had enough tools in the bag to stop him with that jab, to hit him with that 2-1, fast hands to counterpunch, fast feet to use his lateral movement, in and out. Come on, man.